right, so go ahead and state your name and tell me your ride. What am I looking at?
My name's John, and you're looking at a 2005 Honda S2000.
We've been having such a great conversation. Obviously, we're S2000 guys. Tell me your history with Honda and this car, and go ahead and tell your bonus story when it comes to S2000s and what you have.
Well, I basically became a Honda nut after I had a Volkswagen Fox that was broadsided in an accident. And I bought my first Honda, a 95 EX Coupe, which I still have with 426,000 miles on it.
Love it.
It's burning about a quart of oil every 1,500 miles, but I can't get rid of it. It's like selling a member of your family, you know what I mean? And that's what sold me on Hondas. And then in 1999 model year, or not in 2000 rather, they introduced the S2000, and I knew I had to have one. So I went out, bought a 2001 in May of that year in 2001, just loved it, got hooked, bought this in 2005, and once I learned that they were going to be getting rid of the S2000, I bought a CR.
Oh, man. So you essentially are saying 3 S2000s, including the coveted CR.
Right.
That is phenomenal. I really appreciate the fact that I've met you and you've been all out Honda S2000. I really appreciate it. Now, we were having a great conversation. Go ahead and describe, briefly the driving dynamics and characteristics of the AP2, of the AP1, the AP2, and the CR.
Well, it's my opinion, and I'm sure people will disagree with it in many ways, but the AP1 is very raw. It was a very raw platform when it first came out. It was very twitchy, prone to snap oversteer. The steering rack was faster than it was in the AP2. And it's a car that will make you a better driver if you learn it and respect it. If you don't learn it and respect it, it'll bite you without any warning at all. That's what an AP1 is to me. I like the 9,000 RPM red line. Okay, it's a screamer up there, but you have to drive it like you stole it. You got to flog it. Yep. But the car likes that. So that's another reason why I like the S2000. You really have to engage it, So that's what brought me into this 2005 was I liked the differences for longer trips. The AP2, in my opinion, is more comfortable on longer trips, has slower steering. It's more forgiving of your driver errors if you make them. It doesn't want to step out as quickly on you. You can save yourself from some pretty embarrassing moments, you know what I mean? And then when I ended up getting a CR, that for me was an interesting compromise. It was almost like an AP 1.5 or an AP 2.0 in that, to me, the CR feels chassis-wide virtually identical to the AP1. So think of the CR as an AP, I guess an AP1 with an AP2 motor. Is how I would describe it.
That's so interesting, and I love the fact you get the benefits of that driver's car and really going 8/10, 9/10 all out, really trying to connect, the sensation of what the car is trying to tell you to an AP2 motor, a more livable, more displacement kind of feeling. And I hope that those that are interested in the S2000 will listen to you on that aspect and will do their due diligence if they so happen to look for one of these. Now, they're getting harder, much harder to find, especially a clean example. What are some tips or advice would you give to those looking and seeking to get an S2000 of their own as they start to dwindle down?
Well, my advice would be this, real simple. Try to find a car that's as close to bone stock as possible. I mean, and you can go out on, for example, on Bring a Trailer, okay? The cars on Bring a Trailer, CRs are going now for between $100,000 to $200,000.
Crazy.
Okay, there was a bone stock friend of mine up in Washington had a yellow like yours. His was a 2001. Had a yellow matching hardtop. Had this spoiler, side strakes, everything. That car had a little over 51,000 miles on it. It was garaged its whole life. Perfect condition, perfect, flawless. Guy got $58,000 for it,
'Wow.
with 51,000 miles on it. So, that's what I would describe.
Wow. That's so interesting. And I love the fact you get the benefits of that driver's car and really trying to connect, the sensation of what the car is trying to tell you to an AP2 motor, a more livable, more displacement kind of feeling. And I hope that those that are interested in the S2000 will listen to you on that aspect and will do their due diligence if they so happen to look for one of these. Now, They're getting harder, much harder to find, especially
It just depends. Find one that's stock, take care of it, and enjoy it, because you're never going to see a car like this from Honda again.
Exactly, and I want people to know that Honda is not the same Honda of yesteryear, the ones that I had growing up, the ones that you fell in love with. For better or for worse, they're evolving and they're transitioning into, a modern, what modernity is saying the cars need to be. Now, tell me your passion for cars. Where did it come from? Have you always been a car guy? Did you kind of grow up into the culture, or where did this love of not only Honda but cars in general come from?
It probably came from my father. My dad was very much into cars when I was very young, and he was always into older Chevys.
Gotcha.
We had 55, 56.
Oh yeah, the two-door deluxes and stuff like
Exactly.
that. I love them. Yeah,
exactly. Had a 66 Impala, 69 Caprice with a 450 or 427 in it.
Nice.
Then
7 liters.
Yeah. Then he ended up getting a 454 Chevelle at one time.
Oh, 8.1 liters. Love it.
And yeah, so it started there. And then I started gravitating more towards sports cars. I personally always wanted to be a race car driver.
Yeah.
But then my father said, if you want to be a race car driver, you're going to have to pay for that yourself. I'll pay for your college, but I'm not going to pay for you to kill yourself. So,
no kidding.
And probably at the time, was when I was growing up, what I wanted to do was race Formula One. But it was a pretty deadly period in the late 60s, early 70s, all through there. The cars were getting faster, and the safety measures were not keeping up with the speeds the car were achieving back in the day. And we lost all those great drivers like Francois Sauveur, Ronnie Peterson, Jimmy Clark. So many people passed away during that time. Formula One today is much safer. And it's the road not taken, I guess you could say. But,
yeah. But here you are now, a very
old man.
But you still have the heart of what a lot of these guys out here, these tuner guys, want. And I really appreciate you talking to me. This has been a wonderful conversation. Last question. California, if you've seen in the news, has officially decided to transition the California Air Resources Board, saying in the next 15 to 20 years to full electrification. What are your thoughts of electric vehicles and the future of the car culture?
Well, I'll be honest with you on that. I think California's approach is total garbage. My opinion is, I have a friend who has a Tesla. I drove the Tesla. The Tesla is an amazing car. It is quick. I mean, it's blindingly quick. All that instant torque with the electric power, you can't beat that. That's phenomenal. It's well made, it's powerful, but it's sterile. It has no personality to me. I don't feel connected to it. I feel like you're basically driving a laptop.
Huh.
It's an appliance.
I love that. Oh yeah, I've used that appliance expression.
Yeah.
But the laptop, I love that.
Yeah,
you're driving a laptop.
You're driving a laptop, and it's fine. But I want to be engaged. I can't stand automatic transmissions. None of my cars have automatic transmissions.
Good. No.
They're all manual. So that's what I'm into.
I appreciate that, and I hope that those listening out there, the driving experience is still there at these meets, all these cars, and everyone's different way of expressing their personality. It's all there, and the way you connect your heart, your mind, your body, your spirit, how we can get that continue to be infused in the car culture, I think is going to be absolutely critical. But John, I really appreciate your time. Thank you again for talking to me. I'm going to just do some walk around shots of the Honda S2000. I know we have to say it, but I love it too much. So thank you again.